The Quantum Spiritual Mental Game of Fitness. How Your Mind Shapes Your Body and Your Gains. By Michael Santini. Train your body. Master your mind. Unlock the frequency that transforms your life. Written and created by Michael Santini, founder of Machine Mentality Performance. Dedication. For the ones who don't just lift for looks, but lift with purpose, presence, and fire. This is for the misfits, the grinders, the late bloomers, and the ones who never gave up. You're not just building muscle, you're building yourself. Quotes that built this book. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. James Clear. The mind is everything. What you think you become. Buddha. To change the body, you must master the mind. Michael Santini. The subconscious mind is the gateway to transformation. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Energy is the currency of the universe. You get what you match. Table of Contents. Introduction. It starts in the mind. Chapter 1. Mentality over muscle. Chapter 2. The mind-muscle connection is real. Chapter 3. Words that build or break you. Chapter 4. Focus is a superpower. Chapter 5. The intensity gap. Chapter 6. Energy, belief, and the quantum field. Chapter 7. Mindset, movement, and nutrition. The Holy Trinity. Chapter 8. Becoming the strongest version of you. Closing. Chapter. This is just the beginning. Introduction. It starts in the mind. People call me Machine, and I live up to that name. Not because I was born different, but because I believe I am. That belief shaped every rep, every decision, and every result. What do they call you? What do you call yourself? For years, we've been told that fitness is all about grinding harder, eating cleaner, and showing up consistently. And while discipline matters, it's only part of the story. The truth is, mindset matters. Your transformation begins and ends with your mentality. This book isn't just about macros, muscle, or motivation. It's about energy, intention, and the invisible drivers behind physical change. Whether you want to sculpt your body, launch a business, or master a skill, your mindset and frequency dictate your outcome. Fitness isn't a 60-minute task 3 times a week. It's a lifestyle, a spiritual alignment between who you are and who you're becoming. It's the daily decision to train with purpose, to speak to yourself like you matter, to show up when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You're not just lifting weights, you're lifting your identity, you're lifting your life. This book is your guide to unlocking that mindset, to become the strongest version of yourself from the inside out. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Mentality over muscle. Every transformation begins before you touch a weight. The body follows the mind. Those who succeed in fitness aren't just disciplined. They've made a decision about who they are. They see themselves as strong, capable, and worthy of greatness long before the mirror shows it. That identity fuels every action they take, every representative, every meal, every choice to push instead of coast. You are what you believe. Literally, modern neuroscience has a name for this: neuroplasticity. Your brain rewires itself based on your thoughts, habits, and identity. Tell yourself, "I'm getting stronger" often enough, and your brain will adjust how your nervous system fires. Tell yourself, "I'm not built for this," and your nervous system will pull back, conserving energy, avoiding stress, resisting growth. Your thoughts aren't just commentary, they're commands. That's why this game starts long before the weights are lifted, before the sweat, before the macros. It starts with what you decide about yourself. You don't need better genetics. You need a better belief system. You don't need to wait until you're ready. You need to become the kind of person who trains regardless. This isn't about motivation, it's about identity. Motivation fades. Some days you'll wake up tired, some days you won't feel it. But the strongest lifters, The most disciplined athletes don't rely on motivation. They rely on identity. They've built a standard. This is who I am. And once you see yourself a certain way, your behavior will catch up. If you see yourself as someone who trains hard, you will. If you see yourself as someone who eats for performance, you will. If you see yourself as someone who never misses, you won't. It becomes automatic, not because you have superpowers, but because you've aligned your habits with your identity. Your identity isn't what you were born into. It's what you choose daily. Identity is built from intention. Every time you train when you don't feel like it, every time you finish the set you wanted to quit on, every time you say, "I've got more in me," even when it's uncomfortable, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. That's how identity is built. Not from hype, not from hype-up songs, from repeated intentional action that reinforces the message, "This is who I am." Science confirms it. Your mind shapes your muscle. Let's bring it back to the science. Studies on neuroplasticity and embodied cognition show that your thoughts influence neural pathways. Your perception of self influences strength output. Belief alone can shift hormonal response, pain threshold, and neuromuscular efficiency. Put simply, what you believe, your brain will try to make real. It's why athletes who visualize themselves lifting more weight often do. It's why those who expect failure often repeat it. And it's why the internal story you tell yourself matters more than your external stats. Mental toughness isn't loud, it's loyal. People think mental toughness means screaming, sweating, or going viral with your workout. Wrong. Mental toughness is quiet loyalty to your standard, especially when no one's watching. It's showing up when you're sore, locking in when distractions hit, eating clean when junk is calling your name, training with purpose when you're under stress. It's not sexy. It's not always fun. But it's what separates people who talk about change from those who embody it. Spiritual lens. The inner. You lifts the outer you. Let's zoom out. On a spiritual level, this is about alignment. Your outer physique is a mirror of your inner energy. When you walk into the gym with clarity and intention, when you show up as your future self, not your past self, when your reps are fueled by belief, not just effort, you begin to collapse the gap between who you are and who you want to be. You stop chasing a result and start becoming it. That's spiritual fitness. That's alignment in action. Questions to ask yourself right now. Who do I believe I am when I train? What identity am I reinforcing with my actions? Am I building the body I want or the body that matches my current mindset? And maybe most importantly, what do I call myself? Because whatever nickname you carry, whether it's machine, tank, beast, or warrior, you're training to prove it right. So here's the challenge. Choose a name that elevates you and live up to it. Final word. Before the gym comes the decision. Before you ever touch a weight, before the pump, before the macros, the sets, the stories, there's a decision. This is who I am now. Once you make that decision, everything changes. Because when your identity aligns with your intention, the body has no choice but to follow. Let's build that foundation rep by mental rep. Chapter 2. The mind-muscle connection is real. Your mind and your muscles are connected through the nervous system. And the more intention you bring into a movement, the more effective it becomes. When you're distracted, scrolling, texting, zoning out, your physical output drops. But when you visualize the muscle working, engage fully, and focus on the squeeze, you recruit more fibers and build faster. A study from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that lifters who mentally focused on their working muscle during reps saw significantly higher activation than those who didn't. In short, where your attention goes, your results grow. What are you thinking about while you train? This is the real test. Are you thinking about how tired you are, your to-do list, that notification on your phone, or the muscle you're working and the goal you're building? Even 5 seconds of pure focus on a contraction is more productive than an entire set done in mental autopilot. That's how intention beats repetition. Walk into most gyms and you'll see a lot of people who are physically there but mentally absent. Headphones in, phones out, sets half finished, attention half given. They're lifting with their body but their mind is somewhere else. And here's the truth. Your muscles can only grow as much as your nervous system allows them to be activated. If your attention is scattered, your results will be too. What is the mind-muscle connection? Really, the mind-muscle connection, MMC, is the conscious internal focus on the muscle you're training during a movement. When done correctly, MMC increases muscle fiber recruitment, enhances control and form, reduces injury risk, deepens neuromuscular efficiency. A 2018 study in the European Journal of Sports Science found that participants who focused on squeezing the target muscle during lifts experienced significantly more muscle growth in that area, despite using the same weight and reps as the control group. This means your thoughts shape the quality of your reps, not just how many you do. Why most people miss it? Let's be honest about what happens in most gyms. People rush their sets, chasing a pump instead of chasing control. They listen to business podcasts and tune out their body. They focus on finishing, not activating. And because of that, they turn what could be a powerful workout into a diluted routine. Training without mental engagement is like trying to sculpt a statue with your eyes closed. You might get something done, but it won't be art, and it will not be optimized. The nervous system drives the muscular system. Muscles don't contract on their own. The brain sends electrical signals through motor neurons to activate them, which means your focus is the master switch. The more present you are in the lift, the more intensity you can generate. The better your neuromuscular coordination, the more efficient your gains. It's not just about how heavy you lift. It's about how much of your muscle you're actually able to recruit under tension. Tattoo this on every gym mirror. Squeeze the muscle. Don't just lift the weight. Spiritual alignment. Presence is power. On a spiritual level, this is about being where your body is. When you train distracted, you're not just limiting performance. You're reinforcing disconnection. Your body becomes something you tolerate, not something you connect to. But when you train with presence, you become deeply aware of your strength, your breath, your limits, your progress. Training becomes a form of embodiment. You're showing up as your future self right now. That's spiritual fitness. Simple strategies to build the MMC. If you want to build a better mind-muscle connection, try this. 1. Visualize the target muscle contracting. Before your set, close your eyes. Picture the muscle working. What should it feel like? Where should you feel it? 2. Slow the tempo. If you rush, you lose connection. Try a 3-second negative, eccentric, with a 1-second squeeze at the top. 3. Use lighter weights for higher control ego. Lifting disconnects you. Focused lifting refines you. 4. Touch the muscle between sets. Tactile. Feedback builds awareness. 5. Limit phone use. During work sets, you can't focus on your biceps and your DMS at the same time. What to listen to while training. Not all audio is equal. Some sounds sharpen your focus, others dilute it. Best, emotionally charged music, hip-hop, metal, EDM, cinematic scores. Music that makes you feel powerful and locked in. Acceptable. Motivational speeches with rhythm, but no long storytelling. Avoid. Podcasts, audiobooks, business calls. Why? Because analysis activates the prefrontal cortex, but optimal lifting relies more on the motor cortex and limbic system. You want to feel and focus, not analyze and problem solve. Train like you're sculpting, not just lifting. The mind-muscle connection turns every workout into an act of precision. You're not just stacking plates. You're sculpting your physique with intent, focus, and energy. Imagine trying to build a mansion by randomly tossing bricks. You might end up with a wall, but not a masterpiece. Your physique deserves more than randomness. Presence builds structure. Precision builds strength. One last thought. You've got the tools. You've got the science. Now it's time to flip the switch. Because every time you step into the gym, you're faced with a decision. Will I just lift the weight? Or will I squeeze, feel, connect, and elevate? You already know the difference. And from now on, you won't train the same again. Chapter 3. Words that build or break you. You talk to yourself more than anyone else. And those conversations, they're shaping your body. Negative self-talk doesn't just kill your vibe, it triggers stress, inflammation, and hormonal shifts that sabotage your recovery and stall your growth. But positive, intentional language, it rewires your subconscious. It primes your nervous system, it accelerates change. One of the most powerful demonstrations of how thoughts influence matter comes from the work of Japanese researcher Dr. Masaru Emoto. He studied how words and intentions changed the molecular structure of water. Here's what he found. Water molecules exposed to words like love and gratitude formed beautiful, symmetrical crystals when frozen. Water exposed to words like hate or fool turned chaotic and distorted. Now think about this. Your body is over 70% water. If words can change water, what do you think they're doing to your cells, your energy, and your performance? What are you repeating to yourself? Your daily language is more than talk, it is a script. And over time, that script becomes your body. Tell yourself, I'm strong, I'm powerful. This workout is making me limitless, even if you don't believe it yet. Keep saying it. Because repetition writes code, and eventually, your body follows the script you feed it. These aren't mantras, they're mental reps. Just like you do sets in the gym, your self-talk needs structure, intensity, and consistency. Your thoughts are talking to your cells. Let's make it biological. Every thought, especially those packed with emotion, sends signals to your nervous system. That signal kicks off a hormonal chain reaction that changes what your body does next. Here's what happens. Negative thoughts raise cortisol, the stress hormone. That makes it harder to lose fat, recover from training, or build lean muscle. Positive thoughts release dopamine and endorphins. These improve your mood, boost motivation, and make your body more receptive to action. Your thoughts are like chemical messengers. They're either building you or breaking you. The nocebo effect. Your beliefs can hurt you. You've heard of the placebo effect, where people get real benefits from a fake pill because they believe it works. Well, the nocebo effect is the opposite. It's when you get worse results or physical symptoms simply because you expect something bad to happen. In fitness, that looks like this. You think your genetics suck, so you unconsciously stop pushing hard. You say, I never see results. You train half-heartedly. You say, I always quit. You unconsciously prepare to fail again. Your beliefs become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're not just thinking, you're programming. Dr. Emoto's water experiment. Energy and action. Let's revisit the Emoto experiment for a second. This isn't just spiritual poetry. It's a clear, energetic demonstration of how words carry frequency. When water was exposed to positive words, the frozen crystals were structured, beautiful, harmonious. When exposed to negative words, the crystals looked broken, chaotic, disorganized. Now ask yourself, if water molecules are that responsive, and you are a walking ocean of 70% water, what are your words doing to your nervous system, your digestion, your recovery, your gains? Your voice carries voltage. Your words carry frequency. Your body listens to everything. Your subconscious believes everything you say. Here's the twist. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between sarcasm, jokes, or real intention. It just absorbs what it hears, especially when it comes from you. So every time you say, I'm just not athletic, I can't do this, I hate how I look, you're not venting. You're installing a virus into your system. You're feeding the very identity that's holding you back. The science of self-affirmation. This isn't woo-woo, it's hardwired into your neurology. Studies in social cognitive and affective neuroscience show that self-affirmations activate the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. This is the area tied to reward, self-processing, and motivation. Translation: when you say something like, "I'm building strength," you literally light up the part of your brain that wants to go all in. Words create momentum, not because they're magic, but because they trigger the biology that builds your behavior. Daily mental reps. Build the voice that builds you. You don't just lift weights, you lift your standard. Here's how to put that into your mental routine. Reframe negative scripts. I can't do this. This is hard, but I'm learning. I always quit. This time, I'm consistent. Use action-based affirmations. I train like an athlete. I build discipline every day. I respect my body through action. Speak in present tense. Say I am instead of I will. Say I do instead of I'll try. Because your subconscious believes what's being spoken now. Spiritual take. Words are energy. In every spiritual system, Buddhist chants, biblical declarations, ancient mantras, there's one universal truth. Words hold power. Why? Because they shift frequency. They broadcast intention. They rewrite energy fields. If you speak fear, you activate contraction. If you speak strength, you radiate expansion. This is where the gym becomes your altar. Your reps become rituals. Your words become prayers of transformation. You're not just training your muscles, you're training your energetic field. The realist test: would you hire yourself as a coach? Imagine if a coach stood behind you every day and said, "You're not built for this. Everyone else is ahead of you. This won't work. Just give up." You'd fire that coach instantly, so why let you talk to you like that? You've got to become the coach you wish you had. Speak to yourself like someone who actually believes in your future. Because your body isn't just listening to your training plan, it's listening to your voice. Final reflection. What are you calling yourself? Earlier, I told you people call me machine, and I own it, because it reminds me of who I decided to become. Now it's your turn. What do they call you? What do you call yourself? Does that name lift you or limit you? Words don't just describe who you are. They build who you become. So, speak wisely, speak intentionally, and speak from your future, not your fears. Chapter 4. Focus is a superpower. Your ability to concentrate during a workout is one of your greatest tools. Multitasking might help you get through emails, but it wrecks your performance in the gym. The best gains don't come from just showing up. They come from showing up fully. Your presence fuels your progress. Music can help. Visualization helps more. But ultimately, you need to be where your feet are. Eliminate distractions. Set an intention before every session. Every rep should have your full attention. Most people underestimate how much their environment affects their intensity. If your focus is split, your output drops. Your workout becomes a checklist instead of a challenge. Wherever you are, be there fully. Eckhart Tolle. That's not just spiritual wisdom, that's high-performance advice. In an age of distraction, focus is a weapon. In today's world, your focus is under attack. Notifications, social media, gym conversations, podcast multitasking. Distraction is the new norm. And presence? That's the new superpower. You can be in the gym for 90 minutes and get nothing done. Or you can dominate 45 minutes if your mind is locked in like a laser. This chapter is about building a laser mind that sharpens your muscle and shapes your success. Why most people train. Halfway. Let's be honest. Most people don't train with true focus. They're on the leg press but checking messages. They're doing curls but thinking about errands. They're sweating but not connected. They're physically there but mentally somewhere else, and it shows in their results. Distraction dulls progress. When you split your attention, you're training with the brakes on. You're sending half a signal to your body and getting half the results. What the research says. Focus enhances performance. Neuroscience backs it up. Focused attention increases cortical activity in the motor cortex. This is the part of the brain that controls movement. That means, the more engaged your brain is, the more efficient your muscles fire. A Journal of Strength and Conditioning research study found that when participants focused on the specific muscle being trained, they activated more muscle fibers, even with the same weight. That's not bro science. That's real neurophysiology. More mind equals more muscle activation equals better results. How focus changes your physiology. This isn't just mental, it's biochemical. When you're truly present during a workout, your brain releases dopamine, boosting motivation and effort. You breathe deeper, enhancing oxygen delivery and endurance. Your movement becomes more controlled and efficient, reducing injury risk. Presence isn't soft. It's not just mindfulness. It's a performance multiplier. The hidden cost of mental multitasking. We've been trained to think multitasking makes us productive, but in the gym, it's a liability. Here's what happens when your brain is split between a lift and a distraction. Movement quality drops. You go through the motions. Time under tension shrinks. You rush reps. Progress plateaus. Your body stops adapting. The nervous system can't serve two masters. You either give your attention to the weight or to the world. But not both. Flow state, the mental zone of peak training. You've had those workouts where everything clicked. Your mind was still. Your breath synced with your movement. You lost track of time. You walked out feeling unstoppable. That's called flow state. According to psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, flow is the state of peak human performance where effort feels effortless and execution becomes art. And the key to flow? Deep, uninterrupted focus. It's not just about trying harder. It's about removing the noise and stepping into full alignment. Spiritual insight. Focus is a sacred act. Let's elevate the lens. Focus is more than a tool. It's a form of reverence. When you give full attention to your breath, your posture, your resistance, your intention, you're not just exercising, you're practicing presence. You're honoring the vessel that carries you through this life. Your training becomes spiritual when it's done with devotion, not just effort. Every rep becomes a meditation. Every set becomes a conversation between your present self and your future self. How to train with ruthless presence. Here's how to dominate your training with the intensity of a sniper. 1. Set an intention before you train. Say it out. Loud. For the next hour, I'm all in. Anchor your energy. 2. Use music to tune out. Distraction, not. Yourself. Choose music that elevates emotion instrumentals, cinematic scores, or aggressive anthems. Avoid story-driven lyrics or long speeches. 3. Limit or eliminate phone access use. Airplane mode. Lock it in a bag. One notification can fracture your entire momentum. 4. Use preset rituals. Warm-up sequences, breath work, or visualizing your top set can lock in focus from rep 1. 5. Train like you're practicing a craft. You're not burning calories, you're building yourself. Every rep is an act of sculpture. Bonus: gym setup. Tips to enhance focus. Optimize your environment to eliminate distraction before it even starts. Wear a hat and pull it low. It creates a tunnel vision effect. Use noise-canceling headphones to block background noise. Avoid peak gym hours when the energy is scattered. Stick to a consistent training time to build routine and ritual. If possible, train in low-light areas or corners where you can create a cave-like atmosphere. Focus is a muscle. Protect it like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. What to say to yourself before the first rep. Every session should begin with a command, not just a warm-up. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm locked in. Distractions don't live in this hour. I'm not lifting weights, I'm lifting my standard. Because when you speak focus into your space, you claim energetic authority. Final word: Your focus is your edge. Most people will never train this way. They'll stay distracted. They'll half engage. They'll wonder why their body isn't changing. They'll blame the program, the supplements, the schedule. But those who treat focus like a discipline, not an accident, will build more from every rep. Because your body doesn't just respond to effort, it responds to attention. Chapter 5. The Intensity Gap. One of the biggest limiting factors for most people in the gym isn't their form, their nutrition, or their sleep. It's their lack of intensity. They go through the motions, do the same sets and reps every week, and wonder why their body stays the same. But the body only changes when it's forced to. That means discomfort. That means effort. That means training with purpose. Most people are lifting at 60% of their potential mentally and physically. They're afraid to fail a rep, afraid to sweat too much, afraid to feel what real growth demands. True intensity isn't screaming or ego lifting. It's focused, measured output taken to the edge of your current limit. When your mentality is soft, your training is soft. When your mentality is relentless, your training reflects it, and so does your physique. Look around at any gym and you'll notice something. Most people are busy, but they're not working. They're sweating, but they're not breaking. They're showing up, but they're not leveling up. What's missing? Intensity. This chapter is about the critical gap between effort and true intensity, the zone where your body is forced to adapt, and where real transformation begins. Effort isn't enough. Most people confuse being tired with being intense. Doing 3 sets of 10 isn't intense if you had 6 more reps in the tank. Running on the treadmill for 30 minutes isn't intense if you never pushed your heart rate. Showing up 5 days a week doesn't mean much if you coast through every session. Your body doesn't adapt to effort, it adapts to demand. If you never train near your physical or mental limits, you're not giving your body a reason to change. Intensity is the signal that says, this version of me is no longer enough. And your body, your mind, your nervous system, they all respond to that signal. Progressive overload only works with intentional effort. You've heard of progressive overload, the principle of gradually increasing resistance, volume, or intensity over time. But here's the part most people miss. Progressive overload isn't just a numbers game. It's not just doing more, it's doing more with intent. It's squeezing harder at the top of every rep. It's fighting through the burn instead of tapping out. It's pushing the load when your brain says stop, but your identity says go. You don't grow from logging workouts. You grow from surviving them, from pushing through the final reps where your body wants to quit and your mind decides not to. The psychology of challenge. There's a concept in psychology called the challenge-skill balance. It says that growth happens when the difficulty of a task slightly exceeds your current ability. Not too easy. Not too overwhelming. Just enough to stretch you. In fitness, that looks like choosing the weight that makes you struggle but doesn't break form. Doing 1 more rep when your mind says you're done. Adding 5 pounds this week when last week felt pretty good. These micro stretches send a clear message to your nervous system. This body needs to upgrade. That's how change begins. Intensity requires presence. Let's connect the dots from Chapter 4. You can't train at high intensity if your mind isn't fully present. Intensity and distraction can't coexist. If you're checking your phone between sets, if you're watching TV during your reps, if your mind is elsewhere, you're automatically training below your potential. Presence is the price of intensity. And intensity is the price of growth. This is why your focus, your mental reps, and your identity all matter. You can't train with identity-level effort if you're still acting like the old version of yourself. Spiritual insight. Resistance is a gift. From a spiritual lens, intensity is not suffering, it's elevation. Most people avoid resistance. But those who choose it on purpose, they rise. When you intentionally put yourself into uncomfortable situations, you build something far more powerful than muscle. You build resilience. You prove to yourself that you can face adversity. You develop a relationship with pressure, This isn't just a workout, it's spiritual initiation. You're not just sweating, you're sharpening your soul. How to raise your intensity without ego. You don't need to slam weights or scream to train with intensity. You need to be honest about your effort. Here's how. First, track your effort levels. After each set, ask, could I have done more? If the answer is yes every time, you're leaving growth on the table. Second, train. Close to failure. Not every set, but enough to teach your body what 90 to 95% effort feels like. That's where the adaptations live. 3. Apply time caps or density work AMRAPs. As many reps as possible. EMOMs, every minute on the minute. Supersets. These methods force intensity into the framework. Less rest, more focus, more results. 4. Limit comfort-driven decisions. Don't skip the hard lifts. Don't lighten the load just because you're tired. Train from your standard, not your mood. 5. Rest with intention. Don't just recover, reload. Use your rest periods to reset mentally, visualize your next set, and breathe energy back into the session. The intensity audit. Are you really working? Ask yourself these questions after your next session. Did I push myself to a place that made me uncomfortable today? Did I train like someone who actually wants to change? Did I reach a threshold I didn't think I could? Did I avoid or embrace the hard parts? If you keep answering yes over time, your body will change. It won't have a choice. Because the energy, the tension, and the signal are all aligned. Final word. The body only respects pressure. Your muscles don't grow because you want them to. They grow because they've been challenged beyond comfort and forced to adapt. So don't confuse movement with progress, effort with intensity, showing up with leveling up. You don't get results because you clock in hours. You get results because you train with a spiritual edge. Because every rep you push through discomfort is a vote for your future self. The gap between where you are and where you want to be? That's the intensity gap. And the only way across is through. Chapter 6. Energy, Belief, and the Quantum Field. At a quantum level, everything is energy, including you. Your thoughts emit frequencies. Your emotions carry voltage. You're not just working out your muscles, you're shaping your energetic field every time you train. Elite athletes visualize success not because it sounds good, but because it works. Studies in sports psychology show that mental rehearsal activates the same brain regions as physical action. When you feel it before it happens, your body starts to align. Speak your goals. Feel them in your bones. Train as if they've already happened. This isn't wishful thinking. It's energetic alignment to the next level of mental performance. The best results come when belief, action, and energy are moving in the same direction. There's a reason two people can do the same workout, eat the same food, follow the same plan, and get radically different results. The difference isn't always physical. It's energetic. Everything is energy, including you. Quantum physics tells us that everything in the universe, at its smallest level, is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. That includes your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, your body, your workouts, your recovery. Even the atoms in your muscles are never still. They're in constant vibration. And those vibrations, they respond to your internal state. This isn't just spiritual philosophy, it's physics. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your focus all emit a frequency. That frequency shapes your behavior, your posture, your decision-making, your nervous system, your ability to grow, recover, and evolve. So if your frequency is off, your results will be too. Belief as a biological command. Belief isn't just mental, it's a neurological command. When you believe something deeply, your brain fires specific circuits, releasing chemicals that match your emotional state. If you believe, I'm getting stronger every week, your nervous system prepares to make it true. If you believe, this never works for me, your body tightens, stress hormones spike, and growth becomes harder to access. Your belief system acts like your body's operating software. Whatever code you install, your physiology runs it. Belief tells your biology what's real. Visualization, rehearsing the future. Elite performers, from Olympic athletes to world-class entrepreneurs, use visualization as a daily tool. And it works, because your brain doesn't fully distinguish between vivid, imagined experience and actual experience. In a study published in Neuropsychologia, researchers found that mental imagery activated the motor cortex, cerebellum, and basal ganglia, the same brain regions used in physical movement. That means when you visualize, crushing a heavy lift, running with perfect form, flexing a shredded physique in the mirror, you're literally installing neural pathways to help you execute it. Visualization isn't dreaming, it's neurological priming. You're teaching your nervous system the language of future success. Raise your frequency, raise your results. Emotions carry frequency. Thoughts carry charge. And your vibration determines your performance. Think of emotions like a frequency scale. Low frequency, high frequency, shame, confidence, guilt, power, fear, joy, doubt, clarity, insecurity, self-trust. When you train from a state of low energy, doubt, fear, or comparison, your nervous system contracts. You move tighter, you breathe shallower, your performance drops. But when you train from a high-frequency state, confidence, self-trust, and inner fire, you move with flow, force, and presence. This is why your emotional and spiritual energy matters in every rep. Your emotional state is the gateway to your physical state. Spiritual insight. The future is energetically available now. Every time you walk into the gym, you're faced with a decision. Will I train from my past? From my fears, my failures, my old stories? Or will I train from my future? From my vision, my identity, my energetic blueprint? That's the power of quantum intention. The version of you you're becoming already exists. And when you act like them, feel like them, train like them, you collapse time between now and then. That's not manifestation. That's alignment. If you train like the strongest version of yourself today, the results will catch up. Because energy precedes form. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. How to train with quantum intention. This is where performance meets quantum power. 1. Pre-workout visualization. Before you lift, close your eyes. See the movement. Feel the weight. Hear the bar rattle. Lock into the exact sensation of strength and precision. 2. Speak the outcome. Words are vibrations. Speak from certainty. Today, I push past limits. This workout builds my next level. I train like the person I'm becoming. 3. Use emotional anchoring. Remember a time you felt unstoppable. Breathe it in. Bring that fire into your set. 4. Reframe resistance. When it gets hard, smile. That's your signal that your current identity is being upgraded. 5. Post-workout identity check. Ask yourself, did I train like my future self today? If yes, lock it in. If you didn't, don't have guilt, just redirect. Connecting the chapters. Mind, muscle, focus, frequency. Let's tie it all together. Chapter 1 taught you that transformation starts with identity. Chapter 2 showed that your mind controls your muscle and results. Chapter 3 revealed that your words program your nervous system. Chapter 4 proved that focus is the entry point to flow. Chapter 5 demanded you bring intensity through presence. Now you're seeing the truth. Your energy is your most powerful training tool. Before the reps, before the macros, before the split routine. It's your frequency that shapes your outcome. Final word, train like the creator of your reality. This isn't just about lifting heavier. It's about lifting with power that starts at the quantum level. You're not a victim of your genetics, your past, or your old identity. You're a creator. And when you align your mindset, movement, emotion, energy. You don't wait for change. You become it. The gym isn't just where your body changes. It's where your field changes. Your vibration, your direction, your future. Train with intention. Speak with belief. Move with frequency. You are not just training your body. You are collapsing into your next evolution. Chapter 7. Mindset, Movement, and Nutrition. The Holy Trinity. True transformation happens when three things are aligned. 1. Mindset. What you believe and tell yourself. Daily. Second, movement. How you train, move, and push your limits. 3. Nutrition. How you fuel your body for the life you want. Neglect one, and progress stalls. Align all three, and transformation becomes inevitable. Fitness isn't punishment. It's not an aesthetic obsession. It's a spiritual act of self-respect. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Progress is evidence of inner harmony. When your mentality is locked in, your behavior becomes aligned. And when your behavior is aligned, your results are no longer random. They're predictable. People often ask, what matters more? Training, nutrition, or mindset? The answer? All of them. Together. Transformation doesn't happen in isolation. Most people try to change their body by focusing on one pillar at a time. They train hard but eat junk. They eat cleanly but barely move. They do both but run toxic mental loops of doubt, insecurity, and defeat. One weak pillar collapses the whole structure. But when all three are in sync, that's when you get compounding progress, spiritual clarity, athletic confidence, sustainable growth. This is the synergy that turns a fitness plan into a lifestyle shift. Pillar 1. Mindset, the root of all behavior. Your mindset is the program running in the background. It determines whether you show up or skip, whether you finish or quit, whether you fuel or sabotage. It's the voice in your head when no one's watching. It's the identity behind your decisions. A weak mindset turns discomfort into excuses. A strong mindset turns discomfort into fuel. When you've trained your mind to say, "This is who I am now," your behavior becomes a natural expression of that identity. Every rep becomes proof. Every meal becomes a declaration. This is why the work starts before the workout. Your belief system is your foundation. Your body is just the echo of your thoughts. Pillar 2. Movement, the catalyst for change. Movement isn't just exercise. It's how your identity expresses itself through action. Every time you train, you're doing more than building muscle. You're shifting your emotional state. You're aligning your nervous system. You're reminding yourself, I'm someone who moves forward. You don't need to do the perfect split. You need to move like the person you're becoming. Whether it's lifting, sprinting, walking, boxing, or stretching, movement is how you enter your next level. Want to change who you are? Move like them. Pillar 3. Meals, the material of the body. Nutrition isn't just calories, it's information. Every meal you eat sends a signal to your cells. Build, break down, burn fat, store junk. You don't just eat for energy, you eat to recover, repair, rebuild. Rewire your biochemistry. When your nutrition aligns with your goals, your body doesn't have to guess, it has clarity. And this isn't about clean eating perfection. It's about consistency with intention. Eat like someone who loves their body, not someone trying to punish it. Integration, the 3 pillars, working together. When your mindset is sharp, you believe you're capable. You expect to win. When your movement is consistent, you build physical proof. Your body confirms your belief. When your meals are aligned, you fuel recovery, performance, and longevity. Put them together, you create unstoppable momentum. Progress stops being a grind. It becomes a lifestyle you don't want to quit. Spiritual insight. Alignment is energetic harmony. These three pillars aren't just physical disciplines. They're energetic practices that reflect how much you value yourself. Mindset is your frequency. Movement is your energetic output. Nutrition is your cellular nourishment. When they're out of sync, you feel scattered, frustrated, and drained. When they're in sync, you feel grounded, powerful, and clear. This isn't just discipline, it's energetic coherence. The body doesn't just respond to plans, it responds to alignment. Make it simple. Make it sacred. Here's how to keep it sustainable without burnout. Anchor your training to your why. Who are you becoming? See your meals as fuel for the mission. Do not view them as punishment. You're feeding your future. Use daily affirmations and visualizations to reinforce your internal identity. Your words create your environment. This isn't about perfection, it's about showing up as your higher self every day, physically, mentally, spiritually. Final thought, build your temple from the ground up. Your body is not a project, it's a temple. And just like any sacred space, it must be believed in, strengthened, cared for. When you treat fitness like a spiritual practice and not a punishment, you unlock deeper levels of discipline, clarity, and peace. This is the holy trinity of transformation: mindset, movement, nutrition. Honor all three, and you'll never plateau again. Chapter 8. Becoming the strongest version of you. It was never just about muscle. By now, you've realized this journey was never just about getting shredded, hitting a number on the scale, or maxing out your squat. This was about becoming someone with clarity, grit, discipline, belief, inner fire. Someone who's not just built physically, but built with purpose. This may be the last chapter, but it's the beginning of your real transformation. The kind that shows up outside the gym, in the mirror, in your habits, in your identity, in every room you walk into. Fitness is the gateway, not the goal. You may have started this journey because you wanted to change your body. But what you really started changing was your identity. Because fitness is the first frontier of self-mastery. When you push through pain, you build perseverance. When you show up with motivation, you build integrity. When you track your meals and stay consistent, you build accountability. When you build a body, you're also building a mentality. And once you've built that mentality, you can apply it anywhere. This isn't just about abs or PRs. This is about who you are becoming when things get hard and how you show up when they do. Your mind is your multiplier. You've trained your muscles, you've challenged your body, but the most important thing you've trained is your mind. Your mind told you what was possible. Your mind decided how to react when the scale didn't move. Your mind dictated whether each workout was a chore or a ceremony. And now you know, your mind is not a passenger on this journey. It's the driver of your evolution. Change your body, and you'll feel better. But change your mind, and you'll become unstoppable. You've built a new identity. Now go live it. From this point forward, everything changes. You no longer go to the gym to burn calories. You go to connect with your purpose, your identity, your vision. You no longer eat just to hit macros. You eat to fuel the future version of yourself. You no longer train when you feel like it. You train because that's who you are. This is the secret most people miss. You don't get results by chasing motivation. You get results by leading with identity. And when your identity aligns with your action, your results become inevitable. Spiritual take: you are the creator of you. Let's go full circle. On a spiritual level, the gym is your altar. The weights are your ritual. Your intention is your prayer. Your consistency is your offering. You are not just building a body, you are sculpting character. You are mastering frequency. You are creating a living, breathing manifestation of who you've chosen to become. This is the quantum spiritual mental game of fitness. This is you, taking full responsibility for your evolution, not waiting, not hoping, creating. The mission going forward. So what now? Now you. Keep going. Keep evolving. Keep stepping into the future version of yourself before the world catches up. Help others rise too. Train with presence. Speak to yourself with power. Live like the outcome is already done. Because it is. You don't wait for confidence, you train it. You don't chase motivation, you embody consistency. You don't hope for results, you live like they're already real. Final reminder. You're not just lifting weights, you're lifting your life. Every rep is a decision, every meal is a vote, every skipped excuse is a brick laid in the foundation of your future self. You are not chasing transformation anymore. You are becoming it. Not someday. Now, mindset, intention, repetition, frequency, alignment, identity, transformation. This is the mental game. This is the quantum game. This is your new normal. And now that you know how to play it, you'll never train the same again. Closing chapter. This is just the beginning. You've made it to the end of the book, but the truth is this isn't an ending at all. This is the beginning of a new identity, a new standard, a new level of awareness, a new way to approach fitness and life. Because now you understand. Your body is shaped by more than reps. Your results are powered by more than nutrition. Your transformation is driven by energy, intention, and belief. You've stepped out of the old story, the one where progress depended on willpower alone, and into a new paradigm where your thoughts, your frequency, and your focus shape your reality. Your gym is sacred ground. Every time you step under a bar, every time you feel the tension of a set, every time you silence distraction and train with presence, you're not just building muscle, you're building a new you. You are claiming your future, anchoring your identity, elevating your energy, living in alignment with who you're meant to be. This is why training matters, not just for what it gives you, but for who it makes you. You are now a creator. You've trained like an athlete, focused like a warrior, spoken like a leader, eaten like someone who values their vessel, moved like someone aligned with power, and believed like someone who knows results are inevitable when intention meets action. So don't stop now. Lead with this. Energy. In the gym. In business. In relationships. In everything you touch. Because this version of you is too strong to keep small. In summary, the quantum spiritual mental game of fitness. This book wasn't just a fitness guide. It was a blueprint for alignment. You learned that your mind shapes your muscle. Your words shape your nervous system. Your focus determines your results. Your intensity reflects your identity. Your energy carries your intention. Your nutrition programs, your biology. Your alignment across mindset, movement, and meals is the key to unstoppable transformation. And through all of it, one truth stayed constant. Your thoughts create the frequency. Your frequency creates the field. And the field creates the form. You've gone from training a body, to training a mindset, to mastering a frequency that moves the world around you. This is the spiritual side of lifting, the energetic side of recovery, the mental side of muscle. This is the quantum game, and now, you're playing it with intention, clarity, and purpose. Final message. You don't need to read another book to evolve. You need to live this one. Every workout, every breath, every decision is an opportunity to step into the version of you that already exists at a higher level of frequency. So, go out and live like it. Not someday. Now, this is your moment. Machine mentality. Quantum focus. Spiritual fire. Let's build from the inside out and never look back. Stay dangerous and always be machine.